Hey everyone, my name is Cam from Therapy Redeemed. Thank you for being here, episode 3 of Office Hour with your therapist. Today I'm going to answer one of your questions. I'm really excited for this. How to know when our child is ready/needs therapy. They're 6 and they're starting to ask questions. Ooh, this is a good one. First of all, I want to provide a little context, and then I'll provide kind of 4 questions to ask. But context is, I want to be really careful not to pathologize adoptees and say, hey, just because you're adopted, you're going to have these feelings of grief and loss, and it's going to really mess up your life. I want to really caution about that, because if we start doing that, we might start kind of just generalizing that all adoptees have these intense needs, all adoptees have a disorder, adoption is bad kind of thing. And again, careful with that conversation, because I don't want to make any general statements, but the idea that we can serve adoptees without pathologizing them. And when I say pathologize, I'm saying you receive a mental health diagnosis, you have these sets of symptoms, you have a set of symptoms, and it meets criteria for some DSM-5 diagnosis, pathologize, okay? So I want to say that it is normal for adoptees to need help navigating their story. And you can need help navigating your story without receiving a mental health diagnosis. And I want to say, I'm not discounting the value of a mental health diagnosis, because that in some ways can help us name some of these symptoms. It can name some of the struggles that we're going through, and when we kind of see that represented, it really helps us feel like, wow, I'm not alone in this. There are others, and there's actually an organized thought process around it, and it really helps me feel like I can go forward in that guided path. And if we have a target, it really helps us become more effective in serving and supporting that adoptee and that person as they're managing particular needs, emotional needs, behavioral needs, cognitive needs. Okay, so 4 additional questions to ask when we're considering therapy or counseling. Number 1, what kind of therapy/counseling? There's informal counseling and formal counseling, and I'm just breaking it down into these 2 ideas for right now for this conversation. Informal counseling is we're talking to friends, family, mentors, role models, teachers, leaders in the community, big brother, big sister, big sibling type program idea, where we're not necessarily having this structure. There's not like a official diagnosis with an official plan or a schedule. It's more casual, and it still offers these benefits of therapeutic connection, I'm with you, togetherness, community, you're not alone. Informal. Formal counseling, as I referred to earlier, there's a kind of a clinical pathway. You're looking at a mental health provider, and they're giving you a specific diagnosis. They're developing a treatment plan. You're going in maybe once a week, twice a week, and you're meeting specifically to target that diagnosis using that treatment plan. The conversation is a lot more nuanced than that, but generally speaking, that's the formal approach, okay? So we're asking, what kind of counseling are we thinking about? Number 2, what kinds of questions are they asking? Who am I? Where am I from? Are there questions related to identity? Are they asking about their birth story? Are they wondering, why can't I see my birth parents? A lot of different questions and context there. So I kind of, that helps, I guess, like narrow it down maybe of who I'm looking for help, and what kinds of struggles are they processing right now? What kinds of tasks are they belonging, sense of belonging? Is it about safety, physical, emotional safety? Are they trying to piece together puzzle pieces of their story? That really kind of helps guide our decision making about who can help. Okay, 3rd question is impairment in daily functioning. Is there impairment in daily functioning? Now this one is generally more in alignment with that formal counseling approach, okay? Is there some kind of disruption where I can't do my daily activities or engage in my relationships in a meaningful, satisfying way? It's a struggle to do schoolwork, I can't concentrate, really struggling to connect emotionally in these important relationships in my life. Significant impairment in daily functioning is typically one of the kind of symptoms or layers that we consider when we're looking at a DSM-5 diagnosis. So how would you describe their daily functioning? Is there some kind of impairment? And again, I really want to be careful about that word impairment, right? Because again, if an adoptee is responding, it's normal to respond to stressful situations such as, I'm struggling with the loss of my birth family. I'm struggling with a traumatic separation because there's an involuntary termination of parental rights, and we're kind of like separated from into a foster placement. I want to make sure to put that into context, that it's not necessarily the child's fault. They're responding to an incredibly stressful situation. Sometimes the pathology language puts that burden on them as if it's their problem, as if they have the disorder and not the system and not the family system. Fourth question is, what is an age-appropriate question to ask? And again, we're thinking about ages and stages of developmental psychology. Abstract thinking, concrete thinking. Are they trying to determine their sense of self? Are they thinking about just physical traits? Are they thinking about like ancestry? Who were my parents? Are they thinking about their social connection to others who look like them? Is there some kind of collective, kind of community representation that they're wondering about, and how do I relate with them? So just kind of thinking about like that developmental stage where they're at, in terms of like their age and age-appropriate questions. So those are the 4 questions that you can be asking. When is it appropriate to seek therapy? And I guess I would put that all into this one answer. I think it's always appropriate to seek help and support for children who are navigating needs related to adoption. So this is a great time. It's always a great time. And of course, we're working together with someone to determine what is an age-appropriate intervention, what kinds of information can we share, and how do we make that accessible to them at their age and at their location and their journey. Awesome. So that is this week's question. Thank you so much for trusting me to ask. If you want to ask a question using your voice, you can go to, I think this link, I'll try to show it here. But just go to the link in my bio. There's a tab that says Ask a Question. You can just click that on your phone, hit record, boom, ask the question, and then I'll receive it. And in the next few weeks, if I can, I'll try to answer it here during office hour. So thank you again for taking time to stop by these videos. Thank you for the generous donors who donate to me financially so that I can provide these. It does not go unnoticed. Huge gratitude from me. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you next week.